That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I am so excited to get back into Dynasty Fantasy Football. I've been wanting to make videos like this. I just did not want to put them on the main channel because I know a lot of people aren't necessarily really into Dynasty Fantasy Football that are now subscribers to us there. So now that we have this channel, y'all better believe that I am going to be talking a lot of Dynasty Fantasy Football because y'all know that is my #1 passion. That is what I prefer the most of any fantasy football format because it's by far and away the best fantasy football format that you can play. So guys, if you are not in a Dynasty Fantasy Football League, don't worry. If you want to get in one, I'm going to be starting up a ton this offseason. I bet we'll have some spots open in about the 10 Dynasty leagues that we currently run at the very beginning of the offseason. So you will have more than enough opportunity to get yourself into one of those leagues. And honestly, now is the best time to start doing research because the last thing you want to do is just to dive in headfirst to one of those leagues that you're not going to be prepared in because there's a lot of trading, there's a lot of activity, and you need to know some stuff about it. But anyway, let's get into our first player that we are going to be talking about this week, and this is going to be DeAndre Swift. So guys, with DeAndre Swift, if y'all been following the vlog for a while, I mean, if y'all have been a part of this channel since this summer, y'all understand that this was a running back that we had as our running back 1 going into the NFL draft for a multitude of reasons, but then just the entire Dynasty Fantasy Football community really lowered him down their rankings once we saw Jonathan Taylor go to Indianapolis, once we saw a Clyde Edwards-Helaire go to Kansas City, when we saw J.K. Dobbins go to Baltimore, and on top of that, a lot of people also had Cam Akers ahead of him after Cam Akers landed in LA. Obviously, skip forward about 2 months, and now we are sitting at a completely different landscape with DeAndre Swift fully emerging in this Detroit Lions passing offense. And let's kind of take a step back. Let's go back and let's look at his profile coming into the NFL. And he was selected with the 3rd pick in the 2nd draft of the 2020 draft. He is still only 21 years old. Just absolutely insane what he's been doing now at such a young age. On top of this, he's actually having decent size for a running back with his speed. He's 5'8", 212 pounds. I understand that's not necessarily a total weight or a height that you are looking for, but he's kind of stocky. I mean, you look at this running back, he does not look small on the football field. He definitely looks short, but it's not like you're worried about him handling a full workload. I mean, he has an 87th percentile BMI. On top of that, if you take his size adjusted athleticism with what we got from the NFL Combine, this puts him in the 80th percentile as well. So everything that we saw from a DeAndre Swift rookie profile coming into the league was exactly what we wanted. And now let's check in and let's see what he is currently doing. And honestly, this is probably the most impressive rookie season that we have seen so far based on how he's getting used in this Detroit Lions offense. He is currently on pace to have 53 receptions this year. Honestly, he probably ends up with more than this, knowing that he's going to continue to expand that role as the season goes on. But through 7 weeks now, this is what he is on pace for. And he also is currently having a 5.3 yards per carry. And now, if you go through, if you do some research and try to find running backs dating all the way back to the merger of guys that had 53 receptions in a season, had over a 5.0 yards per carry, on top of that, have a BMI over 32, this is the list of running backs that meet that criteria. And this is not as a rookie running back, guys. This is just every running back since then. Okay, we have Emmitt Smith, and we have Saquon Barkley. That is the end of the list. You can throw in Aaron Hernandez on there as well, just because Aaron Hernandez, I guess, saw some carries and he was able to get over that mark. Still, obviously, that's a tight end. We're throwing Aaron Hernandez out of the window. We're just looking at the running backs and what we can expect from DeAndre Swift going forward. So looking at this elite level usage combined with exactly the profile of running back that we want, and understanding in 2021, there is almost no chance that Adrian Peterson is on this roster taking carries away from DeAndre Swift, and we should expect his role to continue. Guys, I know this sounds bold, but there are only 3 running backs that I am 100% sure I know I want over in Dynasty going into 2021. This is Saquon Barkley, this is Christian McCaffrey, and this is Alvin Kamara. Outside of that, guys, I could make the argument of wanting to have DeAndre Swift over an Ezekiel Elliott. I can make the argument of wanting to have a DeAndre Swift over a Jonathan Taylor. I can make the argument of wanting to have DeAndre Swift over Dalvin Cook. And I know, obviously, in redraft 2020, that's not something that we're going to be saying. But if we are looking at this from a dynasty sense, understanding that these rookie running backs on their rookie contracts that profile to be 3-down running backs are literally the most valuable thing that you could find in Dynasty Fantasy Football. It truly looks like DeAndre Swift is just an emerging star currently in Detroit, and I think he is going to confidently be a first-round startup pick in, I would say, about 2 months. So guys, if you have DeAndre Swift, please, please, please be holding on to him with dear life. Do not be looking to sell him at all. And if you don't have DeAndre Swift, and especially if you're rebuilding going into 2021, I mean, go out and send some offers. Be aggressive because DeAndre Swift looks like he could be a top 5 dynasty asset. I mean, just everything that we want to see in terms of boxes being checked, he has. So, yeah, that's all I got with DeAndre Swift. We're going to be talking about some other dynasty players throughout this week. But, guys, I mean, we're going to be focusing on these rookies, and these rookies are unbelievable so far in 2020.